What's up, everybody? Bandit and Chad here for another Taco Tuesday. So over the weekend we were able to head back up 81 and be able to rejoin our families for the Easter weekend. I hope you all had a great Easter weekend as well, but I had a little bit of an experience while I was heading home. So like I said, we were going back up 81 and I was door to door with the tractor and trailer, passing it in the left lane. So, doing everything I was supposed to, not really speeding a whole lot, maybe going 73, 74 into 70, definitely nothing outrageous. But the tractor and trailer decided to start coming over, and I had a second to react. It was really a split-second decision, and I decided to take off through the median and get out of the way of that tractor trailer. Now, the tractor trailer was coming over pretty quickly, and he didn't stop coming over until he hit the rumble strip that was to the left of me. So he went straight over where my truck would have been and ended up on that rumble strip on the other side. And by that point, I was safe in the median with all four tires and taking off through the grass. Now, I didn't jam on the brakes or anything like that because obviously you do have reduced traction there in the grass, and it was a little rainy over the past weekend, so that's something to consider as well. But yeah, it definitely freaked me out. I was okay. We did hit a little bit of stuff that was laying in the median. I think it was like a part of a spare or part of a tire that had blown up, and maybe a box or something like that. But basically we just rode out the traffic until it was clear to get back on in the median, and then I merged back onto the highway. I was able to get off at the next exit and kind of recollect my thoughts and everything like that. Like I said, it really did kind of freak me out. I'd never done that before. Taking off through the median at 70 miles an hour is certainly an experience. I wouldn't recommend trying it, but just know that the truck is capable, and hopefully if you're as lucky as I was, you'll be okay. There was no guardrail at that point. There was no bridge or culvert or anything like that. If I would have hit something like that, it definitely would have put us in a world of hurt. But actually the very next day I had a similar experience. I was coming back from one of my buddies' houses later in the evening, and I was going just back a pretty rural country road, and I saw a car approaching me that was probably a quarter mile away. It was a fairly straight road, and I saw that it looked like he was driving in the middle of the road. No big deal. There's plenty of room on the shoulder. I started to kind of slow down and make my way over there, and the closer he got, the closer he got to me. So as he came, he got farther and farther into my lane, and again I had to bail, get off the road. I think I took off through a field this time. It was dark, so I couldn't exactly tell where I was, but again, I was really, really lucky. I didn't end up hitting anything, and I did evade danger again. But this really got me thinking. I really firmly believe that this truck probably saved my life in one of those two occasions over the past weekend, because we were talking. My buddy was riding with me when the first incident occurred, and he normally drives a late model Honda Accord. So if we would have been in that, taking off through the median and something like that would definitely not be the best experience, would be our guess. But taking off through the median at 70 miles an hour is not a smooth ride, no matter what truck you have. But the truck did stay composed. I was able to control it the whole way through, and I definitely had the good Lord watching out for me on that one, and I made it through. But yeah, hopefully y'all had better travel experiences this weekend if you went anywhere. Like I said, luckily I was okay. The truck is fine, but that definitely gets you worried, especially when it happens in two back-to-back days like that. But like I said, hopefully y'all had better travel experiences over the past weekend.
Yeah, and speaking on that, actually, it's just something I like to talk about this time of year. Definitely keep an eye out for people on motorcycles, because the weather's getting much warmer. They're definitely going to be taking it out, riding on these back roads that we drive on, or even the highway. And, sometimes it's very easy to, I guess, not keep an eye out for them or go past them, because they're just so much smaller. You might think, oh, it's a little annoying that they're there, but they're out here enjoying the roads just as much as we are. And both of my parents do have their motorcycle licenses. They haven't ridden in a very long time, just because of time and stuff like that. But I mean, they get a little unwary sometimes too when they're out there on the road driving around, and they've got these big truckers zooming past them at 70 miles an hour or so. So definitely keep an eye out for them. Their lives are just as important as everybody else's, and they're less protected than we are on those motorcycles. So just keep an eye out, and definitely enjoy the ride like they do.
Right, and it's still a scary thing, evading danger, when you are in a truck with adequate ground clearance and everything like that. We said it would be a good bit more scary if you were in a small sedan or a small coupe or something like that. But if you have to go off the interstate on a motorcycle going at interstate speeds, you're definitely not going to end up in a good situation. Like Chad said, we do have a lot of family members that do ride. I have my motorcycle license as well, and just please exercise caution out there the best you can, and hopefully everyone can get home back to their families safely at the end of the day.
So also going back home this past weekend, I tried something a little different with loading up my truck. I had a few things that my girlfriend was taking home with me. She was with me as well, and I had folded down the rear seats to kind of test out how things were on that cargo bed back there, see how things would slide around if they did at all. I mean, I did have things packed up pretty well, so nothing was jumping out of place all the time, but there was definitely more cabin noise than we normally experience in this truck. For the most part, it is a fairly quiet ride, but with those seats down, that's significantly less fabric and cushioning that's out of the way. So you have easier, I guess, sound travel through the back of the cab, and the little bit of plastic and whatnot that is back there. So I was definitely hearing more exhaust note and road noise while I was accelerating and going down the highway 70, 75 miles an hour. So I just thought that was interesting, that I definitely did hear a difference when those rear seats were folded down.
Right, and we often kind of talk about off camera how Chad's truck is just a little bit more refined, it seems like, on the interstate and around town driving and that sort of thing than my TRD off-road. And another reason for that is with my access cab, there is no back seat like that, and all of that foam and everything else that would kind of deaden the sound and kind of mute all of that is just not there. So that kind of contributes to the louder road noise and everything like that as well.
So last week at the New York International Auto Show, the Toyota FT4X concept was released. We do have a very in-depth video on that we put out last week. If you haven't checked it out, please do. But basically that is just a smaller mid-size crossover that does compete with the Jeep Renegade. It is just a concept, nothing's coming out, and it's not going to be an FJ successor at all. It's completely different. Still has things similar to an FJ, but it's not. So
right. So we know a lot of people were a little bit unhappy with the way it turned out, because I think a lot of people were expecting something like a Jeep Wrangler or an FJ or something really hardcore. This is what they call more casual core, and again, we do go over all of that in the other video that we made on this subject, so if you are interested, go ahead and check that out. In other news this week, Honda is offering a in-bed tent for their Ridgeline. So it is just a tent that pops up right there in the bed. I guess for the more adventurous Ridgeline owners, you could purchase one of those, and it looks like they are going for under $300, so it does seem pretty reasonable if you wanted to add one of those to your truck. Also, in other news this week, Elon Musk, the owner and founder of Tesla Motors, is making some more really bold claims. So we were talking a few weeks ago about how Elon Musk was talking about an electric road tractor, a tractor trailer, and it seems like he said that it's going to be revealed here in September. So we're not really sure any details on it, but hopefully all of that will be cleared up here in a few months. Also, he said that with this model coming out and a few other models scheduled, there will also be a Tesla pickup truck that will be revealed within the next 2 years. So there's not as strict of a timeline on that. But hopefully we'll know more about that before too long, and hopefully we'll get some teasers to keep us interested up until that timeline. So that's pretty much all we have to talk about this week. Again, while you all are traveling out there, please do be careful, and know that if you do have to make a pretty quick decision and you have to take off through a median or something else, do be careful, but hopefully your truck can make it. I did get lucky and everything ended up okay there. But thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.